Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulil Kareem. Amma ba'd. We are on page 102 and the beginning of guidance. And we are on the Athamin, the 8th harm, or we could say evil of the tongue. The 8th evil of the tongue which we should be aware of. Imam Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala is speaking about these 8 things. And this is actually the last of them. So remember, Imam Ghazali rahimahullah ta'ala, he spent extensive time explaining the harms of the tongue to tell us to protect ourselves from how we use our tongue. So the 8th and final one, الثامن المزاح والسخرية والاستهزاء بالناس, jesting, ridiculing, and making fun of people. So we learned before, obviously, that to talk about someone behind their back is backbiting and haram. Now this is regarding in front of someone, jesting with them, ridiculing them, making fun of them. Guard your tongue. He says, فَاحْفَظْ لِسَانَكَ مِنْهُ فَإِنَّهُ يُرِيكُ مَعَ الْوَجْهِ وَيَسْقِطُ الْمَحَابَةَ وَيَسْتَجِرُّ الْوَحْشَ وَيُؤْذِي الْقُلُوبَ. He's talking about the effects of making fun of people. And it's very interesting if we look at these. Guard your tongue from these vices, for they make you lose face. What does he mean by lose faith? Lose face. You lose credibility. Yes, exactly. And make you look bad. Make you look bad. He says, diminish people's respect for you. Cause people to have an aversion from you, that people now want to stay away from you, and damages hearts. وهو مبدأ اللجاج والتصارم ومغرس الحقد في القلوب فلا تمازح أحدا. He says, they are the source of obstinate disputation. These are the sources of people getting into arguments and fighting, making fun of people, and falling out with one another. And they sow hatred in the hearts. So a lot of times when we jest and joke with people, we may do it in a joking way, and we may be laughing, and we may be, everyone's smiling. But what he's saying here is that it has a very deep effect. It has a very deep effect. And what does he say? He says it puts the rancor and the hatred in the heart without us knowing it. Like, oh, I was just joking around, but you said it. And once you said it, you can't take it back. You can't take it back.
Even if you both know you're joking with each other.
See, exactly. The brother asked, if you both know you're joking with each other. I think he's actually talking about that type. When you know you're jesting with each other and you're joking, it still affects the person.
There's always a grain of truth in the joke anyway, so the other person's still affected.
Exactly. Wallahu a'lam. So I think he is referring to this.
Sometimes you want to say it to somebody you know, can't say it regularly.
So you joke about it.
Use it as a joke, as a message.
Exactly. So what Imam Ghazali is telling us, let's read it again. He says, they are the source of disputation, obstinate disputation. Joking is what causes that. See what happens, you joke one time, and he may be laughing, but it hits somewhere inside. And later it's going to come out. And falling out with one another. And they sow hatred in the hearts. So do not make fun of anyone. Don't make fun of anyone. وَكُنْ وَإِنْمَا زَهَكَ غَيْرُكَ. If someone else makes fun of you, فَلَا تُجِبْهُ. Don't respond. Don't respond. What do you do when a dog barks?
Tell him to be quiet.
You bark back, right?
Just don't run.
No one barks back at the dog.
Throw a stone.
And there's a poem of Imam Shafi. إذا نطق السفيه فلا تجبه فخير من إجابته السكوت. When an ignorant person speaks, don't answer him. Because better than replying to him is silence. Just stay silent. It's hard, obviously. But to remain silent is actually a lot of times a better response. A better response. So, you could tell the dog be quiet, or you could just let the dog bark and understand that he's a dog and dogs bark. Likewise, there are people that have these characteristics. They like making fun of people. What are you going to do? Now make fun of him, go to his level? No. So that's what he's saying. He says, وَأَعْرِضْ عَنْهُمْ. Turn away from them. Turn away from them. حَتَّى يَخُوذُوا فِي حَدِيثٍ غَيْرِ. Until they start talking about something else. وَكُنْ مِنَ الَّذِينَ. And become of those. Now this is in the Quran. إِذَا مَرُّوا بِاللَّغْوِ. When they pass by idle talk, vain talk, pointless talk. مَرُّوا كِرَامًا. They pass with dignity. So someone's making fun of you, you just pass with dignity. فَهَذِهِ. Now this is a summary of everything we just went over. فَهَذِهِ مَجَامِعُ آفَاتِ اللِّسَانِ. These 8 then comprise the calamities of the tongue. وَلَا يُعِينُكَ عَلَيْهَا إِلَّا الْعُزْلَةِ. Now listen closely. وَلَا يُعِينُكَ عَلَيْهَا إِلَّا الْعُزْلَةِ أَوْ مُلَازِمَةِ السَّمْتِ إِلَّا بِقَدْرِ الضُّرُورَةِ. He says the only way you can protect yourself from this backbiting and making fun of people and joking with people and lying and all of the things we talked about is one of 2 things. Either uzla, solitude. Spend some time by yourself. Spend some time by yourself. Or, what does he say next? Control your tongue that you only speak what you need to speak. Control it. Hold it back. Hold it back. And only say what's necessary to speak. And how do you know what's necessary? We spoke about this in Jummah. How do you know what's necessary? Necessary is that speech. Unnecessary is that speech that if you remain silent, you will get no sin and you will not lose any wealth or anything. You won't lose anything. So many words we say, if we didn't say them, would we be sinful? No. Meaning there's some situations you have to speak. Brother, he said he's going to kill someone. I don't know, something. You have to speak there. Something's falling, something's happening, you have to speak. If you don't speak, you're sinful. Understand? That's one category. The other times, if you don't speak, you'll lose something. You'll physically lose something. That's also necessary for you to speak. Anything else is extra speech. So he's saying, hold back now. Hold back. Hold back. Okay? Obviously, when you're asking questions, learning, that's different. That's out of necessity. Okay? These are necessity. But Imam Ghazali is telling us, control this. Look what he says. فَقَدْ كَانَ أَبُو بَكْرَ الصِّدِّيقِ. Abu Bakr Siddiq. Abu Bakr Siddiq. We think they're at this high level. They were, subhanallah, what kind of individuals. Look at this. فَقَدْ كَانَ أَبُو بَكْرَ الصِّدِّيقِ تعالى رضي الله تعالى عنه يَذْعُ حَجَرًا فِي فِيهِ يَمْنَعُهُ مِنَ الْكَلَامِ لِغَيْرِ ذُرُورَ. Abu Bakr Siddiq used to take a small pebble, a sharp pebble, and place it under his tongue. Clean, wash it off. Small pebble and place it under his tongue. Well, every time you go to speak, you remember, you feel it. And it makes you think twice before you speak. So because of that pebble, it was a reminder for him, do I need to say this or no? So what I'm trying to show you is that Abu Bakr Siddiq took a practical means to achieving that objective. It didn't just happen. He said, wait, I got to control my tongue. How am I going to do this? He took a pebble, placed it under the tongue. Now whenever he would move his tongue to speak, he feels it there. Wait, do I have to say this or no? Do you get it?
I think, I guess for people who were at that high level, probably is good. For us, we think we have to defend our honor, if somebody...
Well, maybe that is justified, but let's forget defending honor. How many other things are just like...
Gossip.
Just gossip.
That means no more social gatherings.
No. You can have beneficial social gatherings, brother.
There is no such thing as a beneficial social gathering.
Not in today's
No, you can make it beneficial, man. Like, I've had plenty of beneficial gatherings.
You gotta hang out with you.
You got no. You see, that's the company.
Everybody on your level to have a social beneficial.
Beneficial gathering right now.
Yeah, and everything
No,
being
no,
said
that's
here.
not social. That's educational.
What we're talking about right now at the moment.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. A lot of our social events are just.
A waste of time.
Yeah, that's a different discussion. Again, I mean, at least when you're in those gatherings, though, just as a side note, just do as much dhikr as you can.
Yeah.
Do as much dhikr as you can. Talk about Rasulullah. Bring it up. Bring up hadith. Yeah, why can't you bring up hadith? Especially, most of our social gatherings should be Muslim. People won't come then. That's not the gathering you want to be in. That's not the gathering you want to be in the first place.
Yes. Yeah.
Even with non-Muslims, listen, we feel like, oh, I'm with non-Muslims, I can't talk about anything beneficial. They need to be reminded of God too. Huh? They don't want to hear it, yes, but they need to hear it. You don't have to call them to become a Muslim. No, talk about God. God has created us, God is great, this, that. Talk about doing good works. I'm serious. There's a lot you can talk about if you want to be that person. The thing is, we're too scared. We don't want to be that guy ruining the whole party. We don't want to be the sore man. Why'd he come? This guy always talking about something. We're trying to chill here. We don't want to be that person. You have to become that person. That's the thing. That's the thing. I know it. I know the whole thing is you don't want to be the party pooper, right?
Very few people use pork now to season. I think we have a tremendous influence sometimes and don't really.
We don't realize
I
it.
think it's more of a Jewish influence.
Yeah, maybe Jewish too. Let's go forward. Let's see what else he says.
I think it's more Jewish influence.
Let's read what he says now. ويشير إلى لسانه ويقول هذا الذي أوردني الموارد. He would point to his tongue and say, this thing has brought troubles upon me. This thing has brought troubles upon me. That's him. Imagine us, right? فاحترز منه غاية جهدك فإنه أقوى أسباب هلاكك في الدنيا والآخرة. He says, so be on guard against your tongue to your utmost ability, for it is the greatest means of your destruction in this world and the next. So this tongue. He spent 8 pages or 10 pages on tongue to tell you that be careful what you say. Be careful what you say. These angels are writing everything down. Now he's going to a different part. وَأَمَّا الْبَطَنِ The stomach. The stomach. What could he possibly say about the stomach? فَاحْفَظْهُ أَنْتَنَا No. This is amazing what he says. Look at this. فَاحْفَظْهُ أَنْ تَنَاوِلِ الْحَرَامِ وَالشُّبْهَةِ وَاحْرِزْ عَلَى طَلَبِ الْحَلَالِ. First thing, protect this stomach from eating the forbidden, haram. Protect it from eating haram. And even doubtful things. You're not sure, is it halal or haram? Leave that. I'll give you a good example. Whenever this is hard, what I'm saying is hard, do this. Say to yourself, there may be cyanide in this cup. There may be. There's a 2% chance there's cyanide in this cup. I think I'll pass. Why would you pass? Because you realize that will kill your life, kill your body. That haram is more destructive. It kills your iman. It kills your soul. It kills your heart. It's more destructive than cyanide. Cyanide, you lose your life, which is 50, 30, 40 years. Haram, you're losing your akhirah, which is eternity. So just say this. Brother, this haram. Oh, no. Okay, brother, there may be poison in this. Oh, okay, no. Poison? Poison means something. Haram means nothing. Haram means nothing. There may be haram. Maybe. You said maybe. I'm going to take my chance.
Glass half full.
I'm going to take my chance. So change your perspective. Change your perspective. Say, maybe there's poison inside this thing. The fish, the chicken, I don't know. I get surprised. I'm surprised at the questions asked lately to me. I realize people just don't know. Okay, just for the record, eating at restaurants, the chicken and beef is haram. Like these McDonald's and these places, that's haram food. I realize people don't know this. I was under the assumption everyone knew that if it's not slaughtered halal, it's haram. Does everyone know this? Except for fish, of course.
Well, the problem is that people don't know because some scholars have fatwas.
No.
If it's
The Quran is clear. Let's just go, Quran is clear. You eat what was slaughtered in the name of Allah. That's it. If it wasn't slaughtered in the name of Allah, this thing is haram.
I have a question about that.
Slaughtered,
Is it
yes.
also-
Does that mean that things that are labeled kosher are not good for Muslims?
No, listen. You are allowed by the Quran to eat the stuff of Ahlul Kitab
Yeah.
if they slaughtered it according to the way their book says. I just had a meeting 2 weeks ago with a Jewish rabbi. His card's in my pocket. He says, we don't eat the majority of what says it's kosher because they just put a tag on there to sell it. He's not eating it, but you're eating it because it says kosher. And he says, kosher? Yeah, right. Just so you know for the record. He specifically, you know how they have the K on it?
Yeah.
He said, we don't look at that.
So what does he do then?
Well, they do research the same way most of us would do research. You look at the ingredients and you see what's in it. You should eat wholesome food. Talk to Sister Martha, man. She'll tell you wholesome food. Eat good food, pure food. You know the ingredients. If you can't understand the ingredients, you shouldn't be eating it. Not halal haram. Health-wise. If you can't understand these ingredients, something's wrong. Okay? I'm not speaking halal haram when it comes to understanding ingredients. Halal haram is clear. If it was slaughtered without the name of Allah, this is haram. Haram. It's haram food. And saying the word Bismillah won't change it from haram to halal now. It was slaughtered the wrong way. It's haram already.
So my question is, most of the time when this topic comes up, some people say that chicken by itself as a bird is halal, but the way if it's not slaughtered, it's makruh.
No. Meat is not halal until you know it's been slaughtered in the right way. If you find a dead carcass on the ground, can you know that this is halal because it's a halal animal? No, because it wasn't made halal by that zabiha. The name of Allah on it is what makes it permissible. And now you said you have scholars that say rare things, right? We just did something in Aqidah. What do we do in Aqidah? Majority. Don't take rare opinions. I already told you. You'll find an opinion for everything. I'm serious. And I could be explicit right now and tell you things. You'll find an opinion for everything. Some people say riba is fine over here. So now, what do you want me to say? You want me to sit there and rebuttal against that? No. If you want to follow him, follow him. But the mainstream says it's haram riba over here. Yes, one guy stands up and says it's halal. Okay, we got someone. There we go. That's all. I already got someone to say it's halal. The point is, what is he telling us here? He didn't say stay away from halal, haram. He said stay away from doubtful. Right now, we're talking about beyond doubtful.
Right.
Doubtful. If I told you it's possible, there's a chance there may be cyanide. You don't even care. Why are you even talking? Why would you bring that to my face? You probably hit me. You trying to kill me? But when I say, yeah, it may be halal, we say, okay. So when we understand the seriousness of haram, then you will equate haram with poison. And you'll take the same precaution.
It's just like, if anybody is alcoholic, you tell him it's haram, he will not leave it. But if doctor said, okay, you will die next week if you drink anymore,
Yeah.
He'll
stop right away.
10 miles away from you, don't want to see it.
Exactly. Yes, with any question?
Other seafood,
Huh?
other seafood other than fish?
Oh, other seafood other than fish. For all the other madhahib, except for Hanafi, you can eat almost everything in the ocean. Everything. But for Hanafis, you can only eat a fish. A fish.
No crabs, no shrimp.
No crabs.
hardship.
Just a fish.
No hardship.
Just a fish. So if you're a Shafi, then lobster, all that is fine. But for a Hanafi, it's not permissible. And we can go into the dalils later, but that's the ruling.
What about the medicine that you take?
The medicine, if there is no other medicine alternative, then you can take that medicine. If there's an alternative, you can say, doctor, can you give me the non-gel cap pill for this? The gel is gelatin, made out of pig something. You say, can you please give me the non-gel cap? Oh, there is not one on the market. It doesn't exist. Out of necessity, yes. But if there's an alternative halal, you have to take the alternative halal. Okay? If you can find it. The point is, you try and see, is there an alternative halal for this? We just say, no, I have to take it. No, is there an alternative here? But when there's no alternative, Sharia says you're allowed to, of course.
And it has to be an
You
alternative.
have to be conscious.
It has to be an alternative that fits the problem.
You have to be conscious all the time.
The main thing I'm worried about right now is the main haram stuff. It seems like the youth don't understand that Burger King is haram. And I'm realizing wait, what are you talking about? What makes you think that this would be halal? It was never slaughtered. First of all, it's not healthy. There's a whole industry about how unhealthy this food is. I wouldn't eat it if it was halal. I'll tell you that right now. But our youth, caught up in the culture, right? Want a Big Mac, it's quick, it's cheap. It will give you a boost for 30 an hour. Then you'll have a drop, right? And you'll feel hungry again, because that's the way the food is designed. Okay? If it was halal, wallahi, I wouldn't eat it. And there's thousands of people that say, we'll never touch this food. Okay? A documentary for the youth. You probably saw it. Super Size Me. What is it? You guys saw it, right? I don't know what to do. If we have to prove to people don't eat it through this method, then try that. But the main thing is it's haram. It's not been slaughtered according to Zabiha. Okay? Does everyone understand this? All right.
The other thing also, brother, is the French fries. Apparently, most of the French fries that
that's common.
The store sell is cooked in
The same as, exactly.
with lard.
I know though Burger King is different. McDonald's and Burger King are different when it comes to the French fries, where they're fried at. So obviously the point is, once you have a concern, you'll do your own research. You'll find out, is this poison or is it not? Okay? Let's keep going. Yes?
So is it satisfactory for us to just see the label halal and eat it? Or do you have to actually go and research it more?
He's going to talk about that. Let's go. He says, فَإِنْ وَجَدْتَهُ فَحْرِزْ عَلَىٰ أَنْ تَقْتَصِرَ عَلَىٰ مَا دُونَ الشِّبْعِ. Listen to this. Remember, he's talking about the harms of the stomach. He says, once you have obtained what is lawful, try not to eat till you're satiated. Repletion, until you're totally full. Don't fill your stomach. For indeed, being satiated hardens the heart. Once you fill up, all of a sudden now, you don't have compassion for the needy and poor people anymore. Think about Ramadan, how much compassion you have for people when you see a hungry person. Filling the stomach, what does he say? First thing it does, makes your heart hard. It desensitizes you right away. That's why we turn on the news after we eat dinner. Because that has no effect on us then. I'm full now. I'm fine. What's next? Look what he says it does next. It ruins the intellect. It ruins the intellect. There's a saying in Arabic, al-bitan tudhabu al-fitan, that eating to your full takes away your intellectual your sharpness, the sharpness of your intellect.
And then you need a nut.
It hinders your ability to memorize.
That explains it.
Eating to your full.
Well, why did they tell you eat breakfast in the morning then if you're going to take
Not to your full. Not to your full. Eat a breakfast. Eat a breakfast for sure. You haven't eaten in 8 hours. Eat something. He's saying don't fill up till you can barely walk and you're, oh man. Let's keep going. Keep going. There's more to be said, brothers and sisters. It makes one indolent in worship. Try to come for Isha after you get full. Try to pray 5 rakats after you're full. 8 rakats, 10 rakats after you're full. It makes you so lazy. That's why people fill up at iftar. They don't even come for tarawih. They're too full now. Eat a light iftar and eat after tarawih. Most Muslim countries, they eat after tarawih, not before tarawih. You eat after tarawih. That's why you can't pray your tarawih properly, because you just... And then you give the burp next to the person, you know? La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. That is makruh, man. It causes taklif and hardship to other people. I'm serious, and it's seriously, you're supposed to refrain from those things that cause hardship to other people. Let's keep going. Strengthen one's carnal appetites. The sexual desire shoots through the roof. That's why Rasulullah ﷺ told us, if you're not married, fast. Fast. It will control that. It will curb that push, that drive. But when you keep filling up, the pressure cooker is like, you know what a pressure cooker is, right? So it curbs your sexual desire. Food has a deep effect on us. That's why they say you are what you eat. That's why you don't eat McDonald's, man. You don't know what's in that food. I wish we would wake up. I wish we would wake up. And gives assistance to the soldiers of shaitan. Once you're full, now shaitan's whispers become easier to accept. Now it's easier to be lazy. Oh, don't worry. And now you're not aware. You're in a what's it called? Yes. When your guard's down now. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, when you enter your house, you say Bismillah, in the name of Allah, to withdraw.
Shaitan.
If this happens,
well, yeah, there's different.
no lodging, there's nowhere for us to eat tonight.
Yeah. Wallahu alam. I don't know the connection. I don't know.
That's basically saying that's inviting shaitan.
Yeah, you're kind of like turning the. I don't know. Wallahu alam. Let's read some more.
You close the door, now you open right back.
You open the door back up. I don't know. I know what you're saying. I understand. Let's keep going. So if satiety, how do you say that, Martha?
which word are you on?
To be satiated, the noun of it. So if satiate. So if satiate, if you fill yourself, everyone shaba, it's called shaba. It means to fill yourself, okay? Satiation. From the lawful is a source of, listen to this statement. Listen to this. If to fill yourself of the lawful, of the halal, is a source of every vice, what then of satiation from that which is unlawful? He's talking about don't fill your stomach with halal. Imagine when you're filling your stomach with haram. You wonder why the kids don't want to pray, they don't like deen, they don't like Islam. He's saying don't fill your stomach with halal. They're filling their stomach with haram. Do you get it? This is...
Absolutely.
He's saying change your perspective. He's saying don't fill your stomach with what? 100% halal food. Still eat to your 1/3. And we're filling our stomachs not with halal, but doubtful. Maybe halal.
So it's not only Burger King and McDonald's.
It's halal. He's saying,
Even if
once
it's
you
right.
found halal, control yourself.
Right.
So that you can, look, why do kuffar eat? You know, when I was a young boy, I don't like these things on the recording, these personal things.
Okay.
But when I was a young boy, my father taught me. Obviously, he grew up non-Muslim. He said, son, we live to eat.
Yes.
Not eat to live.
We live to eat. Chew your food slowly. Enjoy the food. And then when I became Muslim, I learned, no, you eat to live.
Right.
But it's a total different culture. 100% different. You cannot put on those glasses and expect to see this. Because it's built totally different. The problem with us, we try to make the Western thought go with Islam. It doesn't. It doesn't, brother. I'm sorry. It just doesn't. They live to eat. We eat to live. Total opposite. Now what do you want me to say? You get the difference? And this is a lot of matters. This is not one thing. I can go down the list. Half the time we just have to change our thinking. Your thinking is wrong. Do you understand? So we eat to live. We don't live just to keep tasting and tasting and tasting.
Isn't it also only eat when you're hungry, not because at 12 o'clock is lunch?
Yes, so now the question is, how do you know when to stop? How do you know when to stop eating? You know that point where you say to yourself, I could get more? That's the point you stop. The point where you say, should I get more? You're done. That means stop, I'm done, walk away. We go 2 times after that. Okay, so how do you know when to stop? Right when you say to yourself, should I get more? That means you've done what you had to do. Now the rest is just for fun. The rest is just because I like the taste. But you know I'm done right now.
You know what we do in social gathering? We push people. More, take more, take more, take more.
I know.
No, I'm full. No, take more.
I know, I don't know what to do about this.
If you don't take it.
I know.
From here on, we say eat less.
Okay, let's keep going. Can we do the book? The book is the best thing. Yes,
I
sister?
forgot to add that one thing there. How about stress? Sometimes we eat because we're stressed.
That's psychological.
And that's, that's...
Yeah, like you just as a way out, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And if you
especially,
say that,
with
you're
deadlines
stressed,
and
you know
the rush and
Oh.
of this life, it's stressful.
Look at this now. We have 6 minutes left. Seeking out the lawful is obligatory on every Muslim. So look, don't think it's supposed to fall in your lap, halal. You have to look for halal. It's your obligation to look for halal. Engaging in worship and seeking knowledge with unlawful nourishment is like building upon a garbage heap. You're doing all this ibadah, but it's all sourced out of haram. You're building a huge house on top of garbage. The foundation is garbage. If you are content with only one rough shirt the whole year, and again, he's at a different level from us, but let's read it. If you are content with only one rough shirt for the whole year, and just 2 coarse loaves of flat bread a day, 2 rotis, right? Or khubz, while giving up the pleasure of enjoying the best condiments and seasonings, then you will not be short of what is lawful. In any amount, that will suffice you, since what is lawful is plentiful. He's saying, what's getting you into haram is not the shortage of haram. SubhanAllah, I didn't understand this till right now. He's not saying, the reason there's, SubhanAllah, did someone else get it? I want to see if anyone, what did you get?
I think, you don't increase your desires, just keep restricted.
The desires,
Yeah.
like I was talking to one of my friends and I'm like, yo, it's halal, man. He's like, do you have to eat this? Do you have to eat this one right here? I'm like, no. He's like, okay. He's saying here, there's no shortage of halal. It's just you have so many desires that now you want everything.
Every halal thing.
He says once you bring your desires down a little, then you'll have no problem finding halal. No problem. We want meat 5 times a week. Meat is a delicacy. It has addictive nature too, by the way. I'm not saying become vegetarians, but you guys got to study on this, man. The kids are sleeping though. The kids are sleeping, man. I don't know what to do. Meat is a delicacy. Like, that's why Eid was such a big thing. There's meat. Now it's like, do you get it? The big thing of Eid was what? Meat. Now they're like, what do we do on Eid? Eat meat? I ate meat all week.
And now we take the children to the store to buy toys.
The toy was the meat. You really have to contemplate over this stuff. I don't know. Let's read.
And you're saying that during the end, that was a special occasion, so meat was served.
Yes. Because meat is a delicacy. But now we are.
We live in a norm where you eat meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Back then you'd have.
Not even back then. Nowadays people are going back to understanding the harms of eating meat 5 times a day.
You have sausage in the morning, even if it's halal sausage. Then you have your regular meal, and then at dinner you have leftovers, all meat. You're supposed to only have like maybe once or twice a week.
And it's really important the sisters learn this because they are normally the ones who are preparing the meals, right? So you have to be concerned with how am I nutritionally raising my children. Okay? Let's read some more. Can we read some more? So he says it is not your responsibility. This will answer someone's questions. It is not your responsibility to attain certainty about obscure matters with regard to lawfulness, but you are obliged to guard against what you know to be unlawful, or what you reasonably suspect to be, based on clear indication that is associated to wealth. All right. You know a guy is directly involved in selling haram, you know that this food is bought out of haram. Directly, 100% haram.
Say it again.
Wealth, that is haram money.
Right.
He is 100% in haram. 100%. 100% is the key here. 100%.
Basically, you're saying he's not doubtful.
There's no doubt what he's feeding me was bought with haram money. To go to that dawat is eating haram food. You know it's haram. Okay? There's a doubt. What he's saying is now you're not obliged to go deep inside. Well, what do you sell at the store? This, that. What you see apparent, of course you have to go by that. But delving deep into things is not necessary for you. That's what he's saying. You're going to now ask me how deep, how not deep. That is hard to tell.
So what you're saying is...
What is apparent? The guy openly sells lottery in haram. What are you going to say? I'm not digging deep. You do it in front of everyone.
Big signs at Laro.
Yeah. What do you want? That's apparent. Digging deep is when now you go, okay, well, you go deeper into the unapparent things. Okay? You're not obliged to go deep into things. You're obliged to look at the apparent.
How about if it's not, it's a mix?
It's a mix. It's a mix of halal and haram. It's not 100% what you're eating is from that money, obviously. But there's a portion. How much, you don't know.
So what do? You go to them?
That's what I said.
You get really mad.
Again, you deal with this on your own individual taqwa, but you need to understand that when there's clear haram there, that's haram food.
But what bothers me is funny. The people that have a haram income in their pocket and go to buy a halal meat in a halal
That was
meat
my
market.
next thing. So it doesn't matter even if he buys halal meat and feeds it.
Everyone understanding this? I hope everyone's getting
So
this.
doesn't matter.
I hope everyone's getting this.
It doesn't make a difference.
It doesn't matter.
Even if he feeds you the halal meat.
Doesn't matter. It's how he won the lottery. You know what kids ask me in Sunday school? Like, well, what if my dad uses all that lottery money and feeds the poor?
Right.
I said to him, he's a little older. I said, what if he fornicated and then made them all scholars? Now that one you say, oh no, right? Everyone's like, ooh, what a, what's the word? A vulgar example.
Right.
Well, sometimes I have to go with something the same, but at the end of your threshold. So let's fornicate, have 50 kids and make them scholars. He said, oh yeah, I get it. So the same way, That money that is haram, it's haram. Whatever you do with that money.
But if you did not enter the lottery, or, and it won't be a lottery, but say a sweepstakes, and somehow you won.
Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine.
But you never entered it, so.
Yeah, that's fine. That's not lottery. That's not lottery.
What is that?
Like a sweepstakes or something, you won something, you can win things.
Sweepstakes.
You didn't pay for a gamble. It's not a gamble.
Right.
It's not a gamble. Let's change the word. Lottery is gambling. You give money, I might win, might lose. That's haram. This is different. Yeah, but you're not paying. You're not.
You're not paying for
Every
it.
You're not.
time you buy an item, they stick your name.
I guess we're done. I wanted to do more, brothers and sisters, but I think we learned a lot, inshallah. I hope this was beneficial. Let me just finish what we read so we know exactly where we left off. Let me read one more, a little bit more. Can I read a little more? All right. As for what is known to be unlawful, it is clear and plain. Clear and plain. And that which is suspected to be unlawful for some reason includes the wealth of a ruler and his government officials. He's giving examples now. Certain oppressive rulers, they would usurp money, steal money. So that's like, it's not as clear, he's saying. The wealth of the one who has no income except from sources such as professional mourning. It's haram to mourn professionally. You know, you go to the funeral and they hire people to come to the funeral and do noha. I don't want to give example. My wife always laughs at me. I start playing roles. You know mourning. Mourning is when you cry at a funeral. Well, some people are good at it. So they hire him, come to the funeral and make everyone else cry. Well, that's haram income. Rasulullah specifically forbade that. That's a job, yeah. They make a job out of everything, brother. Alright, let's continue. The sale of alcohol.
Wasn't it just crying that way by itself was haram itself?
Yeah, but they used to do it as an income, yeah. Usurious in transactions. So riba, right there. Or playing of flutes, musical instruments, for a profession, obviously. Such that you know with certainty that most of his wealth is unlawful. Therefore, whatever wealth you acquire from such people, even if there's a possibility it might be from a lawful portion, it is still considered unlawful due to the greater likelihood of it being unlawful. Let's stop there. And that answered your question. That's what... Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Remember, the main thing I want to conclude, remember the effect of haram. Remember the effect of haram is worse than poison. Keep this in mind, and all this will digest and you'll understand it. When you understand how bad haram affects us, then you'll be able to understand this in perspective.
But in living society, this
Okay, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu